So I'm pretty sure that we've all found ourselves in situations where every single thing in our life is falling apart. We have deadlines popping up. We have arguments that we're having with people on a daily basis. We find ourselves being stuck in life, being stuck in traffic, being stuck with stress, anxiety, and chaos. And during these times, all we want to do is give up and complain and vent and give into these emotions. But what if I told you that you don't have to be that person? You don't have to be the person who is always being a victim to their emotions. What if I told you that there's a way in which you can take control of your reality and of your emotions? And that's exactly what you guys I will be discussing in this video. I'll be sharing with you 6-step framework that I followed to completely take full control of myself and of my emotions. So much so that no matter what happens in my reality now, I feel calm and I feel composed. Yes, things can fall apart. Yes, anxiety can surround me, stress can surround me, but even then I have this internal sense of calm where nothing really shakes me. So if you're really serious, then keep watching. So step number 1 to truly gain mastery over our emotions is to understand what emotional hijacking really is. And why is it that, when something goes wrong in our life or when something is happening in our reality, we just can't seem to help but get angry. We just can't seem to help but get stressed. Like, what is really happening? Because once we can understand that, we can then have the power to choose differently, or to at least not let our emotions hijack our body. So usually what happens, you guys, is that stress or anxiety in our body triggers a fight or flight response. So say for example, you're speaking to someone and you get into an argument with them. You have a group project or whatever, and you're meant to work together in this group, and you're meant to take out the solutions and everything, and that argument, that project is getting heated up. What you want for that project is not what the other person wants. Now at that time, what will happen is that there will be certain emotions that will be triggered in your body. You will feel stress, you will feel angry, and you will feel defeated when that person who you're interacting with in this group setting is not coordinating with you. And then what happens is that when you feel this stress or when you feel this anger, your body actually gets into the fight or the flight mode, wherein you feel like you need to do something, you need to fight this person right now to actually win the situation. And then you will find yourself acting in a way which is not very authentic to you. So maybe you scream at that person and you're like, you don't know anything, you're a loser, let me handle this, you can't do it. Now that is your body actually fighting. Or maybe you completely, shut yourself down and you're like, you know what, I don't want to talk to you anymore, I'm done with this, I will do it by myself, and you can just go, we don't need you. And that is you just trying to run away from the situation as soon as possible. Now both of these responses, either the fight response or the flight response, is not your authentic response. It is not what you would have actually done if you felt calm and composed in the situation. It is actually your own emotions that hijack you in these moments of stress and anxiety. And if you can understand that this anxiety that I feel right now, or this anger that I feel right now for this person is not actually my anger, it is basically a fight or a flight response, and you can give yourself 5 seconds or 10 seconds to pause before actually reacting, and you can regulate your emotions, which we're going to discuss how to do later on. If you can truly learn that skill, you guys, trust me, your emotions will no longer be able to hijack you. And then you can become aware, oh my god, right now I feel stressed. This stress is not mine, this is a fight or a flight response. So let me just sit it out, let me wait for 10 seconds, let me regulate this thing, and it will completely pass. And then after 10 seconds or maybe 5 minutes, you can actually have a better conversation with that person. And initially, if you would have reacted and completely acted out of alignment, this time when your emotion is regulated, you can actually do a collaborative thing, and that project can be the best project that you've ever worked on. Why? Because now your emotions are not betraying you, they're actually cooperating with you and helping you to succeed in life instead of stopping you from success. And that is exactly the place we want to reach. So now that we know exactly how our emotions hijack us, whether it be anger, whether it be this feeling of depression or loneliness, or whether it be any emotion that you think when you feel, you lose control over yourself. Now that you understand how that is happening, let's see exactly how to overcome this. And for that, we will jump to step number 2, and that is to understand that you don't have to run away from these emotions. You don't have to shut these emotions down. So if you feel anger, you don't have to be like, oh my god, I'm angry, let me just like shut it down, let me do something else, let me just avoid it or whatever. Or if I'm feeling sadness, if I'm feeling depressed, let me just completely distract myself. Because usually when we suppress these emotions, they don't really come to the surface, and eventually sooner or later you are going to have that blast out. You know, sometimes we've all done this. We're like, you know, I don't want to feel anything, I'm angry, I'm stressed, let me just, you know, like let me completely immerse myself into work or something which is distracting, and then not deal with any of this, and then 1 week later it'll be fine. But no, 1 week later you see that same person again, and it triggers the same anxiety, the same anger that you felt the first time you saw them. Why? Because you didn't really sit with that emotion, you did not process that emotion, and you thought that you had just overcome the biggest battle of your life. I'm sorry, it doesn't work like that. So that is why, you guys, you need to understand that you cannot resist negativity, you cannot resist anxiety, you cannot resist any negative experience. But what you can do is you can become aware of the fact that yes, right now I'm feeling anxious, right now I am feeling a little bit of angry. You can start noticing them, you can start labeling them, and you can start letting it go. So start naming your emotions. Say for example, if you're having a fight with someone and you feel intense anger, instead of reacting, be like, right now I am angry, right now I feel anxious, right now I feel lonely, right now I feel frustrated. So when you can learn to label your emotions, you can actually take some power back from those emotions. Instead of being like, I don't know what's happening, my days are going bad, I'm reacting, I'm not really, you know, thinking about my reactions. Instead of being in that cycle of life, which I feel like 90% of today's population is living in, reacting, not thinking, not labeling, not being intentional with their life, instead of being in that category, you can just start labeling it. And once you've truly labeled that emotion, take a step back and start looking at that emotion from a third person's perspective. And when you do that, the anxiety, the intensity that you feel literally decreases by 90%. So let me give you an example. So right now I've just moved countries, you guys. I'm in a completely new country, and I've always felt very confident in myself, and I thought that I've built this amazing level of confidence. But I feel like now that I'm here, I'm again, you know, having to adjust because it is a completely new culture. I'm having to adjust my schedule. I'm doing a master's right now, I'm also working part-time, I'm also like doing things on the side like YouTube and stuff, and it is a lot that is happening. And I feel like it is a big shift from, you know, being at home and just working on myself and really being happy in my own energy, honestly, to going out now, socializing, meeting a lot of people. And sometimes it does feel lonely, it does feel overwhelming, and I do feel feelings of anxiety and insecurity, or, you know, am I even meant to be here, or can I really do this, or, you know, is everyone gonna like me? You know, all these emotions still come up. But now, because I know how to regulate my emotions, I don't really identify with them. Even though I can feel the intensity, I can still zoom out and see myself from an outside perspective and be like, yes, I'm experiencing anxiety, but I don't over identify myself with that anxiety. I'm like, yes, right now my body is feeling anxious, I need to do this to get better. And usually when I do that, it does get better and I do feel better. So even though, yes, the experience of my reality is the same, I'm not really in it in the sense that, you know, some bad thing happens, it completely shakes my, you know, state of being. And that is exactly the state you need to reach. And I usually remind myself that all of this is actually an illusion, and I am here to experience this reality. Things, good things will happen, bad things will happen, intimidating things will happen every single day. But I am living in a movie, and instead of fully immersing myself in the sense where I'm getting swayed in my own movie, I observe it like a movie. Like, yes, right now the scene may be a little different in my movie, it may be a little challenging, but I will overcome it. So I don't let myself get swayed in that emotion. Instead, I recognize it, I acknowledge it, and I take steps to become better. And that is exactly what you guys need to do. You can recognize the anxiety, you can recognize the anger, you can recognize any negative emotion that you're feeling, but do not over identify with it. Do not make it your personality, like, oh, my life is a struggle, everything is a struggle. The more you say these words, you guys, by the way, words are so powerful. Even now I can have negative experiences, but I will never ramble about them. Yes, I might discuss them, but I will never get swayed in them, in the sense that that emotion then starts to control me. And that is exactly what you need to do. Now once you've done that, you guys, we move to step number 3 to really understand how to break it down in real actual steps. So now I'm going to give you a physical practical tool to implement this whole concept that we discussed in actual physical life, in actual physical terms. So say for example, some emotion triggers you. It is anger. You feel intense anger, you want to lash out, you want to give this person your peace of mind, and you know for a fact that, you know, this is not your authentic personality, and you're just, you know, in your feels right now and your emotions right now, and you're getting swayed away, what to do when something like this happens. The first thing that you will do is you will pause for 5 seconds. Pause. You want to react, don't react. Pause and say, what a pleasure. Now, what a pleasure, pause, what a pleasure is a Kabbalah technique which David Guillaume talks about. Beautiful technique. So basically, instead of seeing that situation as this negative thing that is happening, be like, pause and be like, what a pleasure. The universe is right now challenging me to overcome my feelings of anxiety, to overcome my feelings of anger. What a pleasure that I get to build my emotional strength like this. What a pleasure that I have this opportunity where I can actually learn to react better, and if I do, then anything in my life that comes after this, I can overcome. Then I can overcome my job interviews, I can overcome any employee problem, I can overcome business problems. What a pleasure that this person is here trying to teach me to learn to be resilient. And what I did here was, instead of seeing this negative situation as this thing which is here to completely destroy me, I paused for a second and I was like, oh my god, this is the best thing that could happen to me, because in the experience of my reality, in the experience of my life, I am growing as a result of this problem. So how is this a problem? It is an opportunity for me to become better. Now, once you've reframed it that way, you will feel much better. Whether you're stuck in traffic and you were getting angry, whether you were feeling lonely in a new country, whatever it is, you will feel much better after you just completely reframe the way you see the problem. Now, once you've done that, maybe take a few breaths in, like breathe in, breathe out, do some breath work, and then see exactly how you can react. Instead of reacting, see this particular situation as a challenge and respond differently. This time, choose your reaction. Let's take that group project example. Instead of you saying to that person that, you know what, you don't know anything, even though you can feel that anxiety and that anger on the inside, choose to respond differently. Say to that person that, you know what, I understand, what is your perspective, let's discuss that. Make that person feel more comfortable, and then when you're on the same sort of vibration or same vibe where you like, yeah, I get you when you get me, then you discuss your points. Now, if you can do this, you can, you know, not react based on your impulse, but respond based on your, you know, your wisdom and just your, you know, entire overall authentic personality. First of all, that project will go so well, and second of all, you will learn the skill of being a team player, and you will learn the skill of emotional regulation, and that skill, you guys, will help you with every single thing in your life. And those individuals, I believe, that who can regulate their emotions, regulate their selves, and not get swayed by negativity or struggle or whatever, you know, you want to call it, those individuals who can be calm and centered when things are going wrong, I believe that they will achieve the most amount of success in their life, because nothing sways them off their path. No matter what happens, they stay unfazed. And that brings me to a last step, and that is to understand that this is a muscle that you will build. After watching this video, you guys, the next situation that triggers you, that makes you feel any negativity, use that as an opportunity to practice exactly what you've learned, and then do it once, do it twice, do it thrice, do it with every single emotion that you feel. And the more you do it, the more of an emotional regulated muscle you will build. And then there will come a time in maybe 3 months where nothing can faze you. And I'm actually quite surprised with my own emotional regulation that I have sort of been able to do in the past few weeks, because of how calm I feel, even though things seem quite different and difficult. I feel completely fine. I feel good. I feel like I'm relaxed, and yes, I will get through it. It took me some time, honestly, to get here, but I feel good, you know, and this is the muscle that you will build. And now I truly believe that yes, things can happen, things can go wrong, but I am centered and nothing can truly shake me. And that is exactly where you will reach if you can truly build this muscle of emotional regulation. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, you can hit the like button. And since in this video I spoke a lot about, you know, observing your emotions and being calm and being centered, if you also want to combine that with gratitude and feeling lucky and feeling happy no matter what happens, you become unstoppable. So not only are you regulating your emotions, but you're also really living all sorts of realities, all sorts of experiences, the darkness and the lightness. So if you want to learn how to do that, I also have a separate video all about how to feel so lucky in life, so happy, so fulfilled, so full that you feel like you're cheating, okay, literally. And that video performed really well, so I highly recommend you watch this video right now, which is right here. So yeah, I will leave the link right here. You know, join the wait list, start working on yourself. Week 1 is free, and watch this video, and you know, just work on yourself. Even if you don't do any of these things, you know, you don't have to, just work on yourself and you will do just fine in life, you guys, and I promise you that. Thank you so much, you guys, for watching this video, and I will see you in my next